harassment is a very, very, very important issue here. I think that we have to really realize that no one can do this work alone, and we have to be working from the grassroots level to the organizations that are working all the way to the top, but also we often forget people who are doing the day-to-day basis work. And so I would love for you to also say some words too.
Well, good evening. And I think it's extremely important, and I really am honored to be here because domestic violence is a huge issue in Washington, D.C. And as someone stated here tonight, it's often a silent and a crime that a lot of women and men will not report. Being an officer, out of our 2,300 assaults, felony assaults this year, 2,000 of those are domestic violence related. In areas of our city, especially in Ward 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, 90% of our calls are for domestic violence in progress. And a lot of the times when we get there, the victim does not have the strength or the ability to really come forward and let the police officers even know what happened to them. We have seen this year we've lost, in fact, we have 63 murders this year, 12 which involve domestic violence. It's one of our higher years for domestic violence. It's a huge issue, and from the law enforcement side, you think it's easy by arresting the offenders. It doesn't stop there. It takes people like Becky, Becky's Fund. I've worked with SAFE and on House of Ruth. You need these organizations. They are so important because many of the victims will not come to police. They do not go to their loved ones to report it, their own families. They're ashamed, they're scared. So it's crucial that we have outside resources for these women and men that are victims of domestic violence. Again, I appreciate that the invite here to let you know what we do see. It's some of the worst crimes that we do see, and I know I see Councilmember Thomas walking in. And in his ward alone, half of the homicides that have occurred in the 5th District in Ward 5 have been domestic violence related. So it's a very important issue. It's very near and dear to my heart. Anytime I do see those kind of crimes that come across my desk, I try to offer resources outside of that from the government. Again, it's something that the women need. And for those of you that might not know, I'm in charge of the schools as well. The youth right now, girls the age of 10 are being domestically abused by boyfriends at the age of 10 and up. And that is the group that really does not realize what abuse means. I've had girls say, well, he just punched me and smacked me. And they think that's okay until they get stabbed or until maybe they get shot. They accept that if you put your hands on them in any way, it's okay. So it's a lot of education we still need. It's a crime that really needs to come to the forefront, and we really appreciate everyone's support tonight. So thank you.
Well, sorry I ran behind. I'm Councilmember Harry Thomas, and that's my family, my wife. Of course, this is my little girl. Let me just say to everybody that this is what we call a strikeout. So we're going to strike this out in our communities. For me, I always tell people this. Some people always ask you, have you had a personal experience? And I tell everybody, this whole thing is a personal experience for everybody. You don't have to be in a situation like that to see it, but it affects every one of these folks in our communities and our lives. The chief, as you heard from her, is in my ward a lot of days on these kinds of issues. And as we have tough economic times and other issues, family pressures increase these problems. So we as a community have to take this as a mentor, have to take this as a cause, have to make sure that we understand. One of the things when I was talking to Chartice and Becky, I was talking about my son. And I always tell people this, he's a big brother and he has little sisters. And how he treats his little sisters is how they're going to be expected to be treated by men. How they see me treat their mother is how they're going to be expected to be treated by men. Now, on the flip side, you also have to understand men are also victims of domestic violence. And so we all have to look at all of these issues holistically, make sure that resources exist in our communities, but more importantly, what can we do individually? And I think this is going to send a huge message for this community we live in, and I'm very proud to champion this. Erica Peters happened to have her as a young student when she was in the Youth Leadership Institute, and she was a victim of domestic violence. Not only her and her 2 sons were killed by a live-in boyfriend in Carver Terrace, and this is where Commander Grooms was talking about. And it was because the signs were there, no one caught the signs, and we as a community saw the signs, and no one said anything. So we all have a responsibility in this. So God bless Becky Fund, and thank you for everything you're doing. And Chartice is probably, she's just taking this on wholeheartedly. And you know, understand this is a passion for her, a love for her, and a commitment for her, because she's serious about this. And thank the Washington Nationals to use a venue like this to bring this issue to the forefront of our communities. Thank you.
I wanted to say thank you to everyone who is here, specifically our volunteers, many of them wearing the yellow shirts. I really thank, also EDJ for being able to help organize, make the place so beautiful, and so thank you so much for coming. We have to run down to the field right now, so please enjoy yourselves, eat some food, have some beverages, watch the game, and we will come talk to you.
Tell them why you're going down to the field.
Oh, because I'm going to throw the first pitch. So.
That's what we want to see.
Today is the declared Domestic Violence Awareness Day in Washington, D.C. Joining us on field are Becky Lee, Executive Director and founder of Becky's Fund, and Ward 5 Council Member Harry Thomas to present the Bill on Domestic Violence Rights, a resolution to declare that today is Domestic Violence Awareness Day in Washington, D.C. Now, therefore, Council Member Harry Thomas, giving full support to the work of Becky's Fund, does hereby declare July 3rd, 2009, Domestic Violence Awareness Day in Washington, D.C., and challenges all the residents of this great city to join in the fight against domestic violence, being a supporter of the cause by teaching, preventing, and stopping domestic violence occurring.